What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Nikki P TV. If you're new here or if you forgot to subscribe last time, I need y'all to go ahead and do that. And also, don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss any new updates on this new content that I have coming. All right? So, today, we're going to be talking about something that I am asked all the time. Dun 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 dun. Nikki, do you like the military? I'm thinking about joining. Like, can you tell me more about it? And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a video on it because a lot of times when I talk to people, it's through text, and I just think that this video would be more helpful. So yeah, so stick around. Any job that you guys have, even in a civilian job, there's gonna be pros and cons. There's literally pros and cons to everything. Tylenol, vitamins, everything has pros and cons. And so when I talk to people, I try to let them know like the good and the bad. Yes, there's a lot of good things, but there are some bad things. Well, I wouldn't say bad, but good, bad. You get what I'm saying. But the cons to it. So I made a little list. It's my own personal list, of course. So just always keep that in mind. Con number one, you cannot just up and quit. You cannot. No, you have a contract that you're obligated to. You sign your name on a dotted line and you said that, yes, I'm going to serve my country for 4, 6, or however many years that you decided to do. So you cannot just up and quit. And so in the civilian world, especially if you're a nurse and you're really trying to figure out what it is that you want to do, for 6 months, you might want to do med surg. The next couple months, you might want to do the ICU, the ER, dialysis, pediatrics. The list it goes to infinity and beyond. It's not like that. You cannot do that in the Air Force. Okay? It's going to be what's best for the Air Force. Of course, what you want is going to be taken into consideration. They're not just going to like throw you in, throw you here just because like your skills and assets are going to be calculated into where you go. All right, so con number two, you may deploy. It's just part of the job and part of the military, you know? And people, they're like, oh, well, I don't want to deploy and I don't want to do this. Well, should I do, guard? Should I do reserve? I don't know a lot about those, like that part, because I'm active. But I do know that a lot of times when things happen around the world, they always call who first? Yes, like, all right, they send the National Guard, X, Y, and Z, but I don't know because I'm not an expert at this. But I know a lot of people they don't want to deploy, so that's a con that you might actually have to deploy. Another con is that if you don't like moving a lot, then that's another con because usually, roughly about every 4 years, you might relocate to a different location. So that could be something that people do not like. Also, you have to ask a lot of permissions. Like, yeah, you have to ask permission to take leave. It has to get approved. Granted, you do that in your civilian job, but like, you can't just be like, you know how sometimes they be like, oh, I'm gonna go anyway. That ain't gonna happen. You gonna be at work, okay? Another con is that sometimes when you're in the military and you're doing a job, sometimes that job may or may not transfer to the civilian side. And so in the military, you might be an expert at a job and you decide to get out, depending on what the job is, it may or may not transfer. So, enough with all the cons, all the negativity, right? Let's get on to the positive things. On the flip side, you get a whole degree when you join the Air Force and you finish your CCA up. So basically, you go to BMT, you go to your tech school, and even at tech school, you get so many credits towards an associate degree. And you can build on that. And so that's good. Along with a degree, you are eligible for the post 9/11, the GI Bill, TA. TA is when you're actually serving your time, and you can use that, and it's up to $4,500, I believe, a year. Granted, each year it changes, so I don't know the exact number, but yeah, you get money every year to go to school. And I was able to get a bachelor's in a year with just TA only. So it's definitely doable. Other pros is that you have that job security. Most of the time, you get paid either twice a month, or you could have your paycheck to where you're only getting paid one time a month. And so you have that job security, especially, when COVID first hit, a lot of people, they didn't have a job. But with the military, you have that job security. Along with job security, you have health insurance, and it's free. Have you guys ever had a baby? Like, you can have a whole baby for free. Yeah, kids are expensive, so that's just something to always keep in mind, is that you can have literally a whole baby for free because the healthcare is free. And along with having a baby, you also get 12 weeks, so about 3 months maternity leave. And fathers, they also have started this thing in the Air Force where you can get paternity leave. Along with job security, you also get a raise every year. So the military, for the most part, we get a raise every year, and that's a raise in our BAH, which that's your housing allowance that the military gives you every month, and also they give you a food allowance as well. And so you get your regular pay every month, you get your BAH, and you get your BAS. And depending on what type of job you are, and if you're enlisted or if you're an officer, you'll also get a bonus every year. So like for nurses, depending on their specialty and their job, they can get anywhere from $10,000 every year and on up. It's crazy of the bonus that they offer for military nurses. So on the other flip side, I talked about moving every 40 years. That can be bad. Some people can see that's bad, but on the flip side, you get to move every 4 years. And so not only do you get to move, and you get to be in a new environment, you get to meet new people and just have so many different ways to explore, but they also give you a relocation allowance. And so depending on your rank, if you have dependents, that's going to determine your relocation allowance, if that makes sense. And also, you also have the option for the military to move you, or if you want to get paid for it, you can move yourself. Basically, what you'll do is you'll pack up your house, you'll load it, put it on U-Haul, and take it to your new base, and then they'll basically pay you for the wait. Along with relocating to a new area, you also have other ways to travel. Of course, as I stated earlier, you can deploy. And so if you do want to travel, that's a great way to, go out and see the world. You can go on TDYs. You can go even on humanitarian projects. And so the list goes on just how much you can travel and how much of the world that you can actually see. And when you are deployed, the good thing is you get an allowance, a family separation allowance, because you're separated from your family. And although for some people it might not be much, but it's more than, what you're already getting. So yeah. And then also the good thing about deployments is that most of the time it's going to be tax free, and so that's a good thing. So I know a lot of people, they like to go on deployments to stack up their money to buy whatever they want to buy, whatever it is. So one of the last things I'm going to talk to you guys about is going to be the VA loan, the VA home loan, which is actually my favorite thing because I was able to buy a house with that loan. And the good thing about that is that you don't need a down payment, because I know a lot of times, which granted I don't know the exact amount, but I believe there's a percentage of how much of your down payment of the total cost of the house. And so when we bought our house, we didn't have to worry about a down payment. We just had to worry about closing costs and things like that. So that was a breath of fresh air to not have to worry about that, because who just got like 300,000 just sitting around? Okay, granted, it's not 300,000, but still, you get what I'm saying. All right, you guys. So that is all the time that I have for today. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Hit me up on like Facebook, Instagram, or shoot, email me. It don't matter. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. So until next time. Ciao.